I just started. Hey Kim, how you doing today?
I'm feeling a little under the weather, but I'll be okay. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing really good. It's exciting to see you again because I know you have a lot of aspirations and all that. So it's always exciting to see you. How was your week
Okay.
since last time we met?
It was good. I got all my like documents together for the place I was telling you about. They needed some like proof of some things I was saying. So I got all that together, and some of it was really hard because I had to like track down things that I lost, and so like I felt good because usually, sorry, because usually I'm just like, screw this, I don't want to do, I'm not doing this anymore. But like I was like, no, you can do it, you have to do this for your son. So I felt proud of myself, and like now I guess we're just, it's a waiting game because they said they have everything they need now. So I really just spent the week just doing all that paperwork stuff, and but it's done. So
That's really good. Did you also, when you were there and contacting them, did they offer any job training or job placement or any kind of employment services?
I think they do have stuff like that. Like I think once I get accepted in there, it, well, yeah, once I get accepted in there, then I know they go over like an orientation and whatnot. But like when I was there one day, I saw like someone I knew from a long time ago, and I stopped to talk to her for a minute, and she she has a job now, I think, like a good job. And so I would have to say yes, but I'm not too sure, but I think so. I hope so.
Yeah, yeah. It sounds very promising. That was so the way that worked out is so cool. You know what I mean? It's like that doesn't always happen. Plus,
I know.
now you have a double blessing that you have a friend that seems like on your side there, so you don't feel quite as uncomfortable going there. That's kind of awesome. So again,
Yeah.
there's hope. And that's the big thing that's what we want to keep in foremost in front of us is hope. Whatever it takes to do hope. Okay. Uh,
Okay.
Now, how are you doing with your I guess for lack of a better word your drug uses? Are you able to stay away still?
Yeah, I've been trying to like not hang around the house a lot. Like we'll go to the park or whatnot, and I just like, I mean, I had a couple slip ups, but I not as many as I did in the past. So, and nothing to make me like, I don't know, like it's almost like I have like, I don't know, like I'm just, it's almost like I'm just scared since my friend, like what happened with her. Like I'm just, it like it lost its thrill or something, like every time I go to do it, I'm like, I just get this like picture in my head, and it's like, I don't know, it must have had some like weird effect on me or something. I'm really surprised. So like I
Well,
did it a couple times, it just wasn't very enjoyable.
well, that's pretty good. That's a little bit later on in our session today. That's some of the stuff we're going to talk about. That picture that you have in your head, that's a good picture. And plus, you also mentioned on something that we'll work on. Also, is you said that you've been taking some walks in the park.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So that's what we'll discuss that a little bit later on. Right now, I just want to kind of just go over things, get ourselves feeling comfortable again, and all that. Okay. Now,
Okay.
are the cravings? Is there any cravings, or is there any I don't know how to really describe it, but sometimes addicts just like kind of need to use or need to. Are you having any of that?
Yeah, that happens like since I've been trying to cut down, it's like right around, it's like my body is used to, I don't know, like when I get Alex to bed, it's like 9, 10, I'm like, I start to feel like antsy. I'm like, all right, just lie down, like just lie down. I talk myself through it, and then I'm just lying in bed, like I can't sleep. I'm just like, and I hate that because I'm like, I'm, I feel like there's like a demon inside me, like fighting, like come back, you know. I'm just like, leave me alone. So yeah, oh my God, I get those urges all the time.
Okay, there's one thing I want to bring up to you that that might help a little bit with that. There's certain other medications that we can look into with a doctor and all that and everything that might help you kind of like to come down from them withdrawal symptoms. They're kind of like symptoms of withdrawal. Your body is used to having something in there. When you take that away, that body still craves it. So
Hmm.
addiction's like a physical compulsion that you're having and a mental obsession. Okay, if you can remember them two things. So we're going to work
Oh,
on the mental obsession is what we're going to do later on. We're going to do. I'm going to introduce you to a couple of really neat therapies, and we'll see how you're if you're comfortable with them or not. And if not, there's other things that we can try. But
cool.
the medication aspect, there's two different medications that again I would like to the three of us, you know, that you two and we could talk to like your family doctor or something like that. There's a drug called methadone, and there's another one called Suboxone. Now he would know
Okay.
more about you know which one to prescribe to you, but it's an option out there.
Okay.
So there's even help for that. In other words, okay.
Okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I've gone to the methadone clinic like once or twice. So yeah, I'm familiar with that. But Suboxone, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I'm willing to hear about it and stuff.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Suboxone's similar. It's similar in what it is. You again, it has
yeah.
to be prescribed and all that. So we would have to, if you're interested, we you know I can contact your family doctor or vice versa, and we can take that a little bit further. But just wanted to throw it out there so you were aware of there's medical help also. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, no problem, no problem. Now, how has everything been going with your son? I know every now and then he would push a button or two for sure, and kids are okay doing that. They know which ones to push, I think. So how's that
Yeah,
been?
there. Oh, I don't know. It's been okay. Like, I really still feel like his teacher is a really strong support. Like if he acts up, she'll tell me about it. And I don't know. It's just you find support in the strangest places, but she is really a support to me. She's even told me a couple times, like, like, um, like she'll say like, he talks a lot, like she's looking to me, and I'm like, I know, I don't know what to do, and so then she'll tell me like, well, this is what I do, um, and then she'll give me some advice, and so like I go home and try it. Like he was so excited the other day. He was telling me about like this Thanksgiving feast that they had, and like, oh my God, he was talking so much, and I was like, oh, yeah, okay already, and so instead of like snapping at him, I just like took a deep breath, and I just tried what she told me to try, and it was so good because it was like, and he was kind of shocked too. Like he looked at me like, because I didn't handle it like I usually do. Like I usually would just be like, shut up, like, oh my God, or like, and so I was able to, just take a deep breath and just say like, okay, like we need to, let's take a break, or let's stop talking. We can come back to that later, like, and so yeah, so that was good. Still having a hard time getting him to go to bed at night. Like, I don't know if it has something to do with it or not, but like that's when I usually get my cravings and stuff.
Mm.
And he he's so clingy, like I don't know if he senses that I'm like nicking out or whatever, like I don't know, but I don't know, like I just noticed like that. I don't know. It's like I'm trying to avoid the cravings, you know. I don't really know how, but I know you're going to talk to me about it, but like I'm actively trying to like just avoid it, and then it seems like he's purposefully like taking over and like trying to add to it. I know that's very irrational. It's just like in my mind, it's kind of like what it seems like, you know? And I'm just like, I'm thinking about melatonin, honestly. Like somebody told me about melatonin and I'm like for sleep, and I'm just like, oh my God, maybe I'll look into that, you know? Because I just, anyway, though, but I mean, overall, it's going good, I guess.
Now, melatonin is really not a bad idea. That you can get that over the counter, so I'm comfortable enough to say that you might want to try that. Okay, and
Yeah.
if that doesn't work, that's a could be a medical issue that we could bring up with your family doctor. But melatonin, that's a very good suggestion. That's a very good suggestion. All right,
Okay.
that you're believe it or not, it's amazing that how you're talking, you are actually using some of the one approach that the therapeutic approach, that's a big word, I know, but it's just for it's another way of saying like strategies on how what we're going to do when a situation arises. Normally people think that when a situation arises, let's backtrack and use your son for an example. We'll use him. All right, the situation would be that he's talking too much. Blah, 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 blah. Now, usually people think that brings on a feeling. How does that make you feel when he talks like that? How does that make you feel?
Like really stressed out because I just feel like any minute I'm just gonna like blow my top and be like, shut up, because I'm trying to really like work on, you know, not I'm trying to work on fighting those urges, and you know, and that's like seriously like a real life battle. And I can't battle when I have like all this noise in the background, so it makes me feel like a like a overflowing pot, like I'm just about to, you know, it's about to boil over, and I'm just like it never really was an issue before because I didn't really, you know, like I never really worked on it. I was just like, yeah, I'm fine, you know, but now that I'm actively trying to work on it, it's like it just gives me a lot of stress.
You gave an amazing descriptive picture of how you feel. That is so important because that's a part of the process of healing is recognizing them feelings. But what I do want to do is I want to backtrack a little bit. See how um, the idea of cognitive behavior therapy. That's the first approach we're going to talk about. Cognitive has to do with your thinking processes, okay, and behavior is how you react, okay. Now, most people, when a situation like your son talking, most people jump right into that feelings or emotion, just like you did, okay? But they forget that there's a thought process that occurs before that feeling happens. And earlier on in our when we first started the session, you hit right on it. When your son's talking, you you thought that's what you need to do. You need to think first before you actually come out with that reaction, like, oh, I feel like using, I feel like stress, I feel like that. And you hit on one of the strategies right away. Sit back. He's talking. You know something's happening there. You're thinking about it. That is so important. And the strategy you used was take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. So that is amazing. And that's the whole idea of how cognitive behavior therapy works. Isn't that amazing that they use our theorists, whoever like that, they use such a big word for just think first before you react.
Yeah, it
It's amazing.
is.
If
It
you
is
break it,
really.
mm-hmm, if you break it down into quote terms that I can understand and you can understand, take a breath. Okay, get your breath here together. It sounds like you're You are under the weather. You got a little cold going on, don't you?
Yeah.
That's horrible. So not only everything else that you're going through, now you got to fight an illness. It's like, ay, ay, ay.
I mean, at least I'm still alive. I can't say that for my friend. So whenever I start to feel like that, I try to put things into perspective, because I think she's like a real friend because like, well, not that she planned on dying, but like she kind of helped me because that could have been me, and
Mm-hmm.
now I'm here. And so I feel like I've been given like a second chance. And now I have you and you're telling me all these cool strategies and stuff. And so, and I like coming back to see you because you compliment me and you make me feel good about myself. And, and like, I don't even realize that I'm like doing good at all. So I'm like, oh, really? You think so? So I feel like, by her, dying, unfortunately, it's like, but it's kind of given me a new like lease on life or whatever they say.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to do it. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to try and use this same strategy again. Okay, it's called CBT, quick and easy. CBT. Okay, and
Okay.
what I want you to do is now the situation that we're going to throw you into is it's 10 o'clock at night now. Your son's in bed. He's done all his clingy stuff and all that, and he finally got to sleep. Okay, now it's
Okay.
time for you to lay tossing and turning, and the situation is you want to use. All right. Now, what would you put as a thought process before you actually acted on that?
Like what are you asking me? Like what should I think or what could I think to make me
No,
not use?
normally before your friend died, okay, when you were
Oh,
taking around and your son was finally in bed, he's probably still doing his clingy things because at that time he probably thought, okay, this is the time mom's probably going to do something. So
yeah.
that children know stuff. It's just a really
Yeah.
good thing. But before, when you'd have all these shakings, what was the first thought that came to your head?
All right, good. It's me time. Time for me, like I got this kid to bed. Now it's time for me to have my time. Like I deserve this. I've been, doing
What would
everything
it,
all day.
and what would be the result of that?
I mean, then I would use and then, I'd be like, I remember one time like that I was so out of it and like just gone. Like I don't remember, but people around me were like, "Oh my God, like you really were bad last night." And my and Alex was like crying and he was like so upset cuz he wet the bed and he came to find me and there was some like random dude in my bed. Like I don't even know who it was. I don't even know what happened, but like anyway, my son like he saw that, and like I hate that like cuz I couldn't be there for him, and I don't know. So yeah. So anyway, so I just wasn't there for my kid when he needed me.
Hmm. So and how did that make you feel?
Like shit.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's back up to that thought again. Now the situation's still there. That thought, you're okay with the one thought pattern of this is me time. That there's nothing wrong with this is me time. You worked all day. Well, you're going to work all day. We're very positive about that. You're going to work all day. You're going to come home,
Mhm.
spend time with your son. He's going to be clingy. Now it's going to be me time. It's going to be Kim time. Okay. Now what we need to do is what can you insert in there instead of, oh, it's me time I'm going to use? What can you insert in there? What are things you like to do? If it was during the day, you had mentioned earlier, oh, maybe take a walk in the park. But how about at nighttime at there? Do you, what kind of suggestions could you think for Kim time to replace that thought other than using?
Oh God. Um. Uh, hmm.
How about
Um.
I'm just going to throw a couple things out there and just to get you started. Maybe you'll like them, and maybe you'll spark some interest here. Do you read? Do you like to read?
I mean, if I found a good book, I guess I love getting involved in a good book because it it just like, and when there was nothing else to do, like when I was growing up and my dad was being an asshole, I would walk to the library and I would just like, that was like one of the happiest times in my growing up years because I would just find a really good fantasy book and I would just like escape this hell I was living. And so, yeah, I actually, I do like to read, actually.
I'll say that's we brought out something that you probably even forgot about. But now, how does that make you
Yeah.
feel? You already said how it makes you feel. How it makes you feel. You said it was one of the happiest times in my life. So
Yeah.
so changing Kim's me time into I'm going to go use instead of I'm going to pick up my book now and I'm going to finish 3 chapters. That's just a small example. What I want you to do, part of CBT, I like using big initials, but it's easy to remember. Part of that is sometimes giving you homework. Okay, um, there's no right or wrong answers. It's not like you're going to get graded on it. Your grade will be as high as you want to make it. How's that sound? Okay, but
Perfect.
what I want you to do is, I want you to jot down when these situations arise. We're going to just stay
Hmm.
focused on on the your opioid uses. Okay.
Okay.
Um, I hope you don't mind me saying it like that, do you? Because sometimes that sounds like demeaning, and I surely don't want to be demeaning by it. You're doing amazing, so don't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I'm so cool and I appreciate you like saying that, thinking of me because most people would just be like, you know, God, so many names, but I appreciate you asking me. Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Okay. Well, what I want you to do is when a situation that we talk about is at nighttime. Now,
Hmm.
what I want you to do is write down. We came up with the one of reading the book. What I want you to do is get a little copybook, a little notebook, and a little bit of anything. There's something to write down. And I want you to write down some creative thoughts that'll kind of change, make you feel like the happiest time of your life growing up. All
Like
right.
right about when so write about like what it
As
was
soon as
like
that
when I was read,
Well, as
when I
soon as
went.
that situation arises, I want you to pick out your notebook. Right now, you're shaking, you're nervous, and like that, and you kind of want to use. Okay.
Hmm.
What I want you to do is pull out your notebook. I want you to write down. I need to find a book that we already discussed that one. Then I want you
Okay.
to think about what else is going to make me feel good other than using a substance. During the day. You already picked one out during the day. You said if that craving works during the day, there's nothing wrong with just taking a nice long walk, getting fresh air. Fresh air is so good for you and all that and everything. There's one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And how does that make you feel when you take a nice long walk and you're getting fresh air? How does that make you feel?
Well, I told you I walk to pick up Alex every day, right? I tell you that? I
No, you
think I
didn't. That's pretty cool. That's really cool.
Oh, well, because we're just in the area, and so I've noticed over time now that like once I get out of that house, then it's like within like 5 minutes or so, like what's that feeling in your chest when you just feel like, what's it called? You just so anxiety, I think my anxiety is like, it just goes down and I'm just like, it's really weird. Like, I don't know. I'm just walking and then I'm just like, like it's so I've noticed that over time. So I think it just kind of makes me feel calm, which is cool because then when I get him, like he doesn't have me like all like, wigging out on him, and I'm like nice and calm and I'm happy, and it's almost like just getting out of that house. It's just like toxic or something.
Mm-hmm. So what you're going to have to do, that's fantastic. You already came up, you came up with two already. We worked on them together. Why don't you come up with more of them, okay? And that they're going to be your positive reinforcements, okay? What we got
Okay.
to do is change negative thoughts into positive thoughts. And
Okay.
sometimes that's hard, but you are on the right track. You're hitting home runs every time you turn around. It's so cool. It's so cool.
Thank you.
All right, and then there's one other. Remember we discussed acronyms before, where
Oh yeah.
yeah, I have another acronym that I want you to write in your journal. Okay. In fact,
Okay.
I'll write this down for you so you can bring it home. Okay. It's called
Okay.
HALT. 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 And
Oh, okay.
what that stands for is hungry, angry, lonely, and tired. Okay. A lot of times when you're really hungry, you're really angry, you're lonely, or you're tired, that could set off triggers of negative thought patterns. So when a situation arises with Alex, with him screaming, yelling, blah, 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 like that, you're tossing in your bed, you're turning around, you're turning around. If you bypass that thought pattern again, okay, and go right into the feeling, okay, him going like this, going like this, going like this, I'm not listening to him, I'm being a bad mom. That's negative, okay. What I want you to do is the top of that journal is halt. Think the first thing that you can think of is, am I hungry? Is that bothering me because I'm hungry? Am I angry at something? Maybe something else happened and you're angry now, and you want to kind of parlay that into Alex's situation. Are you
Mhm.
lonely? Is there, are you just feeling blah? Or are you tired? Did you not get enough sleep the night before? That is so important. It's called HALT. And it stands for
Okay.
stop. I mean, HALT. It's
Yeah.
called hungry, angry, lonely, and tired.
Wow, I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And like I said, that if you think of that, just think, halt, think, halt, think, halt. Okay, when something happens,
Yeah.
think, halt, think, halt. Okay, pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. And I'm like, it's cool because I think it'd be good for Alex too, because if I like take care of my own needs, then I won't like take it out on him, yell at him, and then have to come back later and be like, I'm sorry, I was just tired, or, like and so, and halt means like stop. So that's easy.
Yeah,
And then like, so I just think it's good. Like it'll be good for both of us. I like that
mhm.
technique. That's cool.
That's pretty neat. It's all part of that changing that thought process around. All right,
Cool.
we're gonna touch on one other one that I want to bring to your attention, and it's so similar to CBT, but it adds like another step or two. Okay, it's called the big name is called rational emotive behavior therapy.
Wow, that's a
Again, we're going to simplify and just call it REBT.
okay.
REBT. All right. Now,
All
what
right.
that is, that works on, you actually do an A, B, C, D, E. Okay. There's 5 letters involved there. A is, remember how, well, I'm putting you to sleep. Oh, no.
No, it's not you. I just don't feel good. So I'm
I
like,
know. I can tell. I can tell. Well, again, this is stuff that we'll probably put in your journal because it might be a whole lot to take in and just say, oh, I can remember all this at once.
yeah.
But the A of the A B C D E's of rational emotional behavior therapy is the activating agent, kind of just like a situation. A is like a situation. Activating agent would be Alex, blah, 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 okay. Your belief is that he's going on and on and on and on and on. What would your belief be? What do you think is happening
In his head, you mean?
in your head?
Oh, like when he's talking a
Yeah,
lot?
he's going on and on and on. What are you thinking? What is your belief?
I'm thinking like is he ever gonna stop talking?
Okay. Okay.
Or how does he even talk so much? Or like, does he even take a breath? Or he's annoying the shit out of me?
Mhm.
Or all of the above, I think. Those are some
Oh,
of
very
my
good. Very good. Very
thoughts.
good. Now, what is the consequence of you believing that? What happens when you're thinking this, when you're believing this? What happens?
Oh, that's easy. I feel like I'm a bad mom because, like, I should be soaking up every single word my son says. I have not seen him for 6 hours. He's like the light of my life. I love him. I should be like taking it all in and just loving it, and I'm not. And so then I feel like bad. I feel like a bad mom. Like I shouldn't have these feelings.
I don't mean to laugh, but that is part of this therapy, okay? Because the D stands for let's dispute that belief that you had. Remember, you believe that oh, you're a bad mom. You believed all this stuff, right? You believe you're a bad mom. You should be doing this. You should be doing that, right? Come on now.
Hmm.
Your child's talking nonstop. Does that make you the worst mom in the world because your child's talking and talking and talking?
I mean,
Does that really make you the worst mom in the world because your child is so excited to see you that he's like, might even throw a couple I love yous in there or something, you know?
yeah, no, I mean if he wasn't even excited to see me, like he wouldn't even share all this stuff with me. Like he's not trying. I know he's not trying to annoy me. Um, it's just like how much can you hear about Power Rangers? Like, okay, already, like, but he doesn't know that, and so yeah, you're right. Like if he didn't love me and didn't want to like share things with me, he wouldn't even talk to me. So I mean, that's
See,
so
now
ridiculous.
that's the rational part. When you have that belief, the activating agent was Alex talking, fucking talking. Your belief was that, oh, I have to listen to every word, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to be a bad mom if I don't. If I don't like that, the consequences was making you feel bad, blah, blah, blah. Now, you disputed that. We disputed that together, saying, come on, is that really good? Am I really the worst mom in the world because my child's going on and on and on and on and on and on? It doesn't make you the best worst mom in the world.
I mean, yeah, like look at all the stuff that kids have to go through nowadays, and I'm just like,
You're a good
okay, like,
mom. Right.
I mean, I'm still there, I'm there. Look at all the moms who aren't there. So at least I'm there. So
Now, how
I
does that
wonder
make
why I felt so bad about myself. Like, why do I always go to like thinking the worst about myself? I don't know. You know?
you?
I
Mm-hmm.
always think that though. Like I always think like that I always think like you're the worst. I just have a lot of guilt, I think. But anyway, no, you're right. I am not the worst mom in the world by any means. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Now, how does that make you feel to know that you're not the worst mom in the world?
Like, I feel like, why do I do this to myself? Like, why, that's what I think. Well, I mean, I feel better, obviously. I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders. But then, I don't know, I just think real deeply. But then I go into like, why do I think this way? Like, why am I so hard on myself? But that's probably for like later sessions. So I guess I just feel like a weight lifted off, like come back to reality, you know? So I feel
We
better.
we could use that same A B C D E for that for you. The situation arises now. You feel bad for yourself for whatever reason. All right, that's the activating agent. You're feeling bad for yourself. What does that make you believe?
That I'm back. Wait, what?
The
Sorry.
the situation now, the activating agent, it's called,
Mhm.
is you feeling bad for yourself for whatever reason. Okay, you now we're putting you in your mind. You're feeling bad about yourself. Okay, how does that make you feel? Other than making you feel bad about yourself, how does that make you feel?
Well, like, I mean, like, once I, like, if I used the night before and, and then I wake up the next morning and then I'm just like, I feel like, did my child even eat breakfast today? Like, is his shirt on the right way? Like, like, what, did he even wear clothes to school? Like, I just feel like lost, kind of like just
Uh,
such
okay, wait.
guilt.
We have to backtrack a little bit. Okay, is that okay? The situation you're feeling about yourself now. You jumped right into consequences. You skipped right over the belief. What do you believe when you feel bad about yourself? What do you believe in your mind? What do you believe, that you're the worst mom in the world? You believe that maybe to make you feel better you have to use drugs? Do you believe?
Oh,
I'm just throwing
right.
these suggestions out there. When you feel um, your low self-esteem kicks in, what do you believe? Do you believe you're not worthy? Do you believe?
Yeah, because look at yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay. See, this takes time to practice and work on, and we'll do this a lot. Okay. But okay, now the consequences of you believing that are all them things you talk about. Did my son get fed? The consequences are you could use. That's a consequence from you believing you're you're not worthy. That's a consequence. Okay. Now let's dispute that. Okay. Are you worthy? Of course you're worthy. You're 100% worthy. You're entrusted with a child to raise you. You are worthy. You have a friend that passed away. In her passing away, she sparked something in you, and man, you're worthy. You're a human being. You're breathing. You're living. You amazing. How does that make you feel?
Thank you. I mean,
Just to know that you are worthy. Just to
I mean, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but like I don't know, like you know, I didn't know any better. So like I guess I mean my son loves me a lot, so I must be worthy because I, must be doing
mhm.
something right if he cares about me. And I mean,
what is
yeah, I guess.
what is our theme in counseling? We are not bad people.
Oh,
Good.
we what did you say? You said we're just good people that have made bad decisions, I think, or
Close,
something.
close. We're not bad people getting good. We're sick people getting well.
Oh yeah,
We're not bad.
yeah,
Sometimes we just think we're bad. So that's not
yeah.
the case at all. Mm.
Yeah, it's just about looking at things differently, I guess. Like, you know, um, yeah, I never really thought of myself as sick. I just thought like like you're just scum. Like why would you do this to your son, Like, but I must have some worth because then the teacher would have just been like, like she would have called like CPI on me. And then like if she really thought that I know I keep talking about her, but like I don't know, she's kind of like important to me in a way. Like she's like a mom. I don't know. But anyway, like she would have called CPI and been like, get this kid away from this loser. But she hasn't, she takes time to talk to me and tell me stuff, and so she sees my worth and I really like her. So I guess, I mean, like, I know a little bit that I'm worthy, but I just have a lot of guilt. But like, she sees worth in me. So, like, right now at this time, I guess I can just say, like, I'm worthy because she sees it more
That's
than me.
fantastic. That's a start, and then again, that's a goal. That's a goal that we can set some objectives up to conquer that. Okay. Um, I didn't ask you. I should have asked you earlier, but were you able to make any of the NA meetings?
Oh, I did go to one.
Cool. And how
Yeah,
was
and
your experience?
it was so great. It was like better than I expected it to be. Like I had built up in my head that it was just gonna suck and just like I know that you said it's not like that, and but I don't know. I just like, when you just think about things too much, and I was like, oh my God, like, and then I really didn't want to go, and I thought, okay, like I'm going. I would just think of my friend, and I'm like, okay, just go. And then I went, and I thought everyone was going to stare at me and be like, look at me like I'm a, nasty like piece of crap. And they did look over at me, and then they just looked back, and like it was just like I was a normal person. It was like, whoa. And then I went and sat down, and they were like, they have this like newcomers thing where they're like, are there any newcomers here? And I was like, I just wanted to like put my head down, but then a couple people looked at me, so then I felt pressure, and I was like, okay. I'm like, yeah, me. And that it was so like welcoming. Like they were just so, like I was just happy that they weren't going to be like, tell us about yourself, because I wasn't ready for that. They didn't do that. They were just like, they had this like script thing where they were just like, and it was just like, I don't know, it's so weird, but I really want to go back. Isn't that strange? Like I'm looking forward to like Tuesday nights now.
That is so cool. That is so
Yeah.
cool.
And they have like a little like thing for kids too, which is awesome because then I can like, oh, and here's the biggest thing. Like listening to everyone else's stories was just like, oh my God, like I didn't realize that sometimes you just get in such a dark place and you just think like I'm the only one going through this, and you just like look around you and there's just like junkies lying around passed out, and you're like, and you just think like, and anyway, and there was, and people just sharing their stories, and it was just like I'm so grateful to you for suggesting that I go, because I was really like resisting, but I'm glad that I went.
That is so cool. That's so. Did you make any kind of friends, or did you get any phone numbers or anything? Maybe.
Well, I added my number to the phone list. Like they, at the end of the meeting, they had like a phone list. And so I added my number, and then like I was walking out and some girl was like, she's like, hey, I'm just happy. Like she looked like she was kind of my age. And she was just like, hey, I'm happy that you're here. And like, I'm happy you came or something like that. And I was like, oh, thanks, and then I was thinking like, is she gonna ask me for drugs, or like what ulterior motives does she have, or like what does she want out of me, or like she's only saying hi to me because, you know, I don't know, but
Maybe she thought you were worth it. Oh
okay.
goodness, gotcha.
You got me. You got me.
All right.
That
How
was like
about did you
nice.
did you happen to take one of the copies of the list with phone numbers on it?
Yeah, I have one.
All right. Just a suggestion again. Uh, call one of them numbers. Maybe that girl. Do you remember her name? If not, that's okay. We definitely don't want any pressure involved in this. Okay. If you don't remember their names, maybe it sounds like you're excited to go again. Maybe just work on it little bitsy steps.
I think it was like Mandy or Amanda or something. So I know it was something with an M. So like I could look down the list, but like I don't want to bother her. Like she's probably just was being nice. And
No, remember I said the last time we met too. That people don't say, here's my phone number. Now don't call me.
oh yeah, I don't
What?
know. I just don't want to be a burden to anybody. I
That's
always feel like I'm a burden. Like, like, but
that's the hard, it's
but
the
that's
hardest step to
crazy.
take.
That's crazy because like why would I be a burden? Because number one, they don't even know me. And number two, like there's a phone list for a reason. So, obviously they want people to call, So didn't you just talk about that, like challenging, like irrational thoughts or something?
Absolutely, absolutely. And see, you
Yeah.
just situation is that there's something that you could add to that 10 o'clock at night, tossing and turning. Okay, when you're trying to think, oh, I think I should use, you could think right in your journal, call Mandy, call one of my people on that list, whoever is on that list. This is
Yeah, because
again, that's what I mean about that journal is really important. This way you can, know what else it does? It tracks your progress. Next year, I will, and you're going to look back at that journal and you're going to say, oh my goodness. How's that for hope?
that would be like the biggest goal. Like I would be so proud of myself if I was able to do that.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's just again, it's one day at a time. It's 1 week at a time, 1 minute at a time. But anyway, Kim, I think you're doing fantastic. What I also want to say is, if there's anything you need from me with that, with the agency that you're working with,
Oh, okay.
for housing or for the job placement or job employment, please feel free to give them my phone number. If you leave the information, maybe I can reach out and call them also and just and see what they have to offer. So maybe we can discuss a little bit more of that in our next session too.
Yeah, that would be good because they asked me if I was doing any like outside counseling or anything, and I did say that I am, but I didn't give them, your number or anything, but yeah, like so then they would believe me that I'm telling the truth. So
Absolutely.
probably look
Absolutely.
good if I just offered it, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, thanks. That would be good because
Okay.
that's a good idea.
Okay. Sounds like a
Yeah.
plan then. Okay. So until next week, you're doing great. Whatever you're doing, keep on doing it.
Thank you so much for all your help.
You got it. You got it.
All
Okay.
right.
Well, that ends our session. I don't know how long it was. Probably about 10, probably about like 30 minutes or so or whatever. But now I think you're supposed to just tell how bad I
Oh,
did. How rotten I was.
no, I think that, um,
Oh,
and I think I was just thinking, like, do you want to do that? Oh, well, this is what you're, okay, because I actually
this is
printed
why.
out.
Yeah, this is why it takes a little bit longer. This one's taking a little bit longer. You're supposed to actually on the video. You're supposed to kind of like critique me or whatever like that.
Okay, so I think you did great because you like taught me some new methods tonight that I didn't know about, and I think that they were good. I meant to say this when I was a client, but I just like forgot. But like I like the fact that there's homework because that's something else that I can connect with Alex, like
Mm-hmm.
I meant to say something like that, like, oh, I'm gonna have homework, just like I think I said it in the last session or something. But I like the fact of being given homework because then we can, it's like a bonding
Yeah,
point for us, like mommy has
pretty
her
cool.
homework, you have your homework. And you were like really, really positive, which is, not that I'm a real opioid addict, but I mean, I'm sure if I was, like, there's not a lot of positivity going around, and there's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot of judgment and like, like you're worthless. And so to combat that with,
Mm-hmm.
you know, finding worth, and like taking those little moments, and like finding areas to like, oh, here, like you're worthy, it just like got my head like thinking, like,
Mm-hmm.
so like you introduced a new way of thinking, which is like really important. And just overall, like your positivity was just amazing. Like you were just so complimentary tonight. And well, you're complimentary every night, but tonight you seemed extra complimentary. So it was good to be that way now because, now that you're starting to teach me things and I'm starting to like make changes that are going to be really hard, like the more positivity, I think, like the better, like the more motivated I'll
Yeah.
be to like, come back because it's kind of like I want to show you like, like I know that you're invested in me and I know you're proud of me. So I want to come back and be like, guess what I did? Or guess what, like thought I challenged,
Right. Right.
so
Cool. Very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but I thought you did great. I think you always do great, but yeah.
Thanks again. Thanks.
Mm.
The REBT thing that wasn't too long and drawn out, was it? Because that was like kind of the A B C D E F, and I was trying to like simplify things because you don't want to overwhelm anybody either.
Yeah. No, the only thing I got kind of confused about was like, I think I don't know much about REBT. Like I just never personally like learned
Mm.
what I needed to. So it probably would have helped if I knew a little bit more about it myself. But um like sometimes when you're like, so how do you feel or whatever, like I was confused like about a certain incident or just in
Yeah,
general.
yeah, yeah.
So that confused me a little because that was when I was like, what do you mean? Or like,
Mhm.
but other than that, I didn't think it was like overly drawn out or anything. Like, you know,
Now,
I
the
didn't.
REBT is really cool, but to me, I think that's more when we're actually face to face because you can actually do stuff. You can actually role play in that too, like to change that belief. The D change
Right.
the belief that I dispute it. If you believe in something, if I think it's irrational or like that, I dispute it. And I can do that in all kinds of ways. I can just like question you, like they call it Socratean question or something like that. Like,
Oh yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
yeah, well, you think this. Why do you think that? And you go on and on with the kind of question like that.
Right.
You can what I did was I tried to use humor with it. Like, come on now, you believe you're a bad mom?
Oh yeah.
Are you really the worst mom in the world now? Come on now. You know what I mean? See, that was the rational
Yeah.
part of that. That's it. That was me disputing you thinking that you're a bad mom. So that's what
Yeah.
I try and get the client to do that same thing. So
No, I really liked that. That was like a point of, like, cause I like it. Cause you were kind of like real with me, like I supposedly I'm like, on the streets and I'm like, why does my phone keep going off? Sorry. But like, so I like it when you're like, come on now, like that, like I'm not like a little princess. Like I like when people are real with me, like, come on, like you're being ridiculous.
that,
Or
part
whatever,
of that. Yeah, that's part of that REBT. That's why I kind of like that because I can see that you as a client, as a person, you can appreciate that approach. There's other approaches too. If a different client, like some of them, you might not be able to be so direct to it. You'd have to kind of like weasel your way around it because you might hurt their feelings or something. You know what I mean? So you have to. That's kind of neat. It's fun to play around with that one.
Yeah, like I was just thinking like that style would be perfect for me, but my mom on the other hand, like no.
Yeah,
Like, she'd get
yeah.
so offended and I'm like, so
Exactly. And then that would turn them off, and they wouldn't want to come back, and they wouldn't want to.
right.
Yeah.
Well, now that you said that about REBT, I want to go look it up more because I do like that approach,
Really
personally.
cool. And the biggest thing is you have to develop the therapeutic, the therapeutic relationship first. You have to know your client. You have to be friendly with them. Then
Yeah.
if I did that with your mom, I would know that I wouldn't be able to use that approach. I mean, then I would
Right.
a whole different thing, like a little, maybe a mature style or something like that. You know what I mean? So
Yeah. Oh, God.
it's pretty cool. It's pretty neat. Yeah.
It is cool, yeah, but no, I think you did great. And I have a question though, but but it's just about the actual assignment. So
Okay.
I can wait till, are we still recording?
Yeah, no, I'll end it now, and then we can talk about that stuff. Where's how do I end it again? There it is. Pause. Stop recording. There we go. Stop recording.